I don't want to waste too much time because I'm sure y'all are excited as much as I am to open the finally Cardfight Vanguard Overdress start decks. So if you're excited to see what more Vanguard content we're going to make with these start decks, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and comment your thoughts on which start deck you're most looking forward to, or in which nation as well. I would like to welcome all the new players as well as returning and all the current players back into the world of Overdress. Alright, without further ado, I kind of opened this video weirdly. Let's hop into each of the trial decks and go into what's in them. Starting off with start deck 1, Yu Kondo. So Yu's deck is all about Dragon Empire, and it's the main character nation with lots of cool support to power up the deck in set 1, Genesis of the 5 Greats, featuring Virina Valiente. Now this deck kind of lays the foundation for it and probably all Dragon Empire decks going forward. So let's take a look at what makes this deck go. With every start deck, you're going to get a playmat, which is of course going to teach you how to play and teach you all the zones. So if you're a newer player, I actually really like the Vanguard playmats because they show you where everything is pretty well and what everything means, starting off with the trigger. And with the new mechanic, the ride deck, there's a lot of cool things that you're going to be able to do. Oh, we kind of just plopped out. Let's get that out of there. Oh wow, they kind of sealed these well. All right, and another layer. All right, so in every Dragon Empire start deck, you're gonna get 4 copies of your main boss card, Dragon Empire Nirvana. Now this is of course the main card of the start deck, which has the cool skill to synergize with the main grade 0 Trickstar, which you guys will see later, and be able to give everything power. This is one of the main cards of the start deck, and of the start deck cards, you're gonna want to be keeping these. Next you get 4 Blaze Maiden Ryu. This is probably gonna go into your ride deck, so this searches out your main card, and it's definitely a reason for you to keep it in the deck as well. Blaze Maiden Reno as well. So this one searches out Trickstar, which is of course centered with Nirvana, and then Sunrise Egg is your starter. So these are like the main cards of the deck and the main reason why players, new, experienced, and competitive people in Vanguard will buy the Dragon Empire start deck. Then we have 3 Inferno Sword. Inferno Sword is pretty cool. Though it doesn't see play much in the final build, its ability to power up is really good for you to beat down your opponent. Then 4 Virina. Of course, another Trickstar card. This card's really good because it kind of gives this deck a lot of power output, making it one of the better start decks for you to start playing Vanguard with. Then 3 Iron Ball Dragon Enki Bowler. This is a vanilla. It usually doesn't see play in the final decks, but it's cool art and reminds you of Tachikaze. And then this is the Sentinel. There's a better Sentinel coming out, but for a start deck, this definitely teaches you how perfect guards work. Basically can stop any attack barring any restrictions. And then 4 Trickstar. This is like your mascot. Like, oh, who doesn't love this little boy? So cute, isn't he? Alright, he can't be chosen by your opponent's card effects, so should they have any removal effects, this card can't be get rid of. That's why it's one of the most powerful cards to start in Vanguard Overdress. And then this is new, the Over Trigger. I like how this one says you could give an additional unit power on top of getting the Over Trigger power itself. So that's a really decent one to consider, even though the Dragon Empire one's good as well. And then of course your triggers that it comes with are 4 crit, 4 draw, 3 front, 1 is usually the over trigger slot, and then 4 heal. And then this is an order card, so think spell cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! This is Sunburst Evolution. It allows you to add Virina back from your drop zone, and since Vanguard Overdress gets its name from Trickstar and Virina placing over each other, this card gets you 1/2 of it, while Nirvana gets you the rest of it. So it's really cool out of the start deck that they have some cool synergistic plays. And that's it for the Dragon Empire start deck. Let's hop into the Dark States deck. So Donji is all about Dark States. This is a deck, if you're a big fan of American football, a lot of the themes and aesthetics coincide with this. So we're going to get, of course, your mat. We already went over that. Box is cool. And yeah. Let's hop into the deck, shall we? Your main Vanguard Diablo's Ruse focuses on beating your opponent down with its skill to be in Final Rush and restand your units for more attacks. Basically, that means you get more. Vanguard usually get 3 attacks in a turn, but this deck could give you 5. And out of a start deck, that's super powerful. This is the main Vanguard for a lot of people, and people like it a lot. Then we have Diablo's Anger Richard, which supports Bruce by allowing you to maintain advantage and then give itself power. And then Steve. Steve is another card that allows you to maintain advantage and set up Bruce's Soul Blast skill to restand your cards. And then Matt, which is your standard starter. Time Fissuring Fist Colossus is also another good card for the start deck, which allows you to soul charge and gain power if you're in Final Rush, which is why people like this card a lot. And some people play it. I think it's a really cool art, first of all. It reminds me of Gear Chronicle. Then we have 3 of Vanillas. Vanillas are usually cards with no effects, so this one comes with 10k Vanillas. And then Steam Gunner Brody, another Gear Chronicle aesthetic card. Acrobat Presenter is also really cool. This is helping you fuel Bruce's final soul charge skill for Final Rush. Allowing you to soul charge 2 essentially of 1 card essentially gets you your full Final Rush skill if you could pull this off. Then we have our Sentinel of the deck, Over Trigger, and then our very cute critical triggers, cute draw triggers, cute front triggers, cute heal triggers, and then our Order, Brother's Soul, allowing you to soul charge 2. Has a fabulous art. So that's it for the Dark States start deck. I'm not really a big Dark States player, but I know there's a lot of them out there, and I hope this deck picks up steam because it's definitely a cool deck. Now onto the Keter Sanctuary deck. If you're all about the meta, this is definitely the deck for you. This is definitely the best deck out of the box because of its ability to give power and restand your units for multiple attacks. Similar to Final Rush, but I think this deck is a lot more consistent and could play an early game, which Final Rush kind of has a hard time with, in kind of a rushy format. So let's take a look at what Keter Sanctuary is. Apex Ruler Bastion is your main unit because during your turn, all your grade 3s, which this deck is full of, gain plus 2000 power. With an 8k boost, they're 23k, forcing 15k shield out of your opponent's hand, which is the equivalent of a front, crit, or heal trigger. And then at the end of the battle that your drive check revealed a grade 3, you could discard a card from your hand, choose one of your rearguard standard, and it gets plus 10k, forcing more shield and power out of your units. So you get 4 of that. That's your main one. And then Rooks. This is a grade 2 that gives itself boost if you do the skill and allows you to draw cards and essentially just set up for your plays. I like this card a lot. I only play 1 of it because I think the grade 3 consistency is super good. And then Fort is another one of those cards. Call the top card of your deck. Usually you're going to hope it's a grade 3, just helping you set up your field. And then your starter, no comment. Then here's where the fun begins. Your deck consists of a lot of grade 3s to help make sure you get Bastion skill off always. So this is Ramana. Rafluke is a very powerful one. I played it in my final build. This is a vanilla grade 1, helping you make numbers with your columns. Platinum Wolf. This card isn't as good in D standard, which is the format of these decks, but in premium in the Genesis deck, this card definitely provides a lot of utility for you to get off your loops and stuff. Then your Sentinel, and then your Over Trigger, and then your 4 crit, 4 draw, 3 front, and 4 heal. And then this Order card is definitely one of my favorites. It's essentially like Pot of Greed with a cost attached to it. So you draw 2 cards and choose one of your units and gets plus 5k, just getting more power out of your units to defeat your opponent. And that's it for the Keter deck. Definitely one of my favorites and the one that I'm most looking forward to playing. Then we have another one that I'm looking forward to playing with Best Girl Megumi. Fight me on that. Stoicheia. Featuring the Chonk Magnolia. Alright, I'm going to have to clean this up. Alright. Magnolia. This is another really powerful one because out of the booster set, you get a lot of cool cards to power up this deck, which make it a lot more consistent because the start deck version isn't as consistent at pulling off its main plays. So, at the end of the battle that attack, counterblast 1, choose one of your rearguards. Until end of turn, that unit can attack from the back row and gets plus 5000 power. And if you Persona Road, which essentially just means riding on top of it, you choose 3 instead of 1. So an all-out assault with your units on turn 4 to defeat your opponent is what this deck aims to do. And of course, you get 4 Magnolia. Then your other ride deck card, when Magnolia is rode on this card, you reveal the top card and then you can call it. And if it's a unit card, sorry. And then if not, you put it into your hand. But then when it attacks a Vanguard in the back row, it gets 10k. Really good card. But I prefer the other version of Stoicheia. And then this is another one, another back row power-up card. Make itself 13k. Then your starter. Then you have 3 10k vanillas. 4 of the Sylvan-Horned Beast. This card definitely plays in the main deck. And if you have 4 or more other rearguards, it gets plus 5k, making it a 15k. And with Magnolia skill, you could get some large power. And then this card's really good. It gives itself boost, so allow you to hit magic numbers with your other rearguards that can attack from the back row. Really good for early plays. And then Cyrus. So Cyrus is like reminiscent of Neo Nectar and allows you to essentially get a +1 with its skill to Soul Blast, but it's only a once per turn, and a hefty cost of Soul Blast too. Then your Sentinel, your Over Trigger, 4 crit, cute animals. This one's my favorite, the squirrel. I love squirrels. 3 fronts, 4 heal, and then Call of the Beasts. This is a blitz order, which means that it could be played when you're being attacked. So giving you more defense in your deck, which is really nice. But yeah, that's it for the Stoicheia one. Definitely excited to play this one as well. And then we are done going through the start decks, and now all we gotta do is wait for the booster set. And then lastly, we have the Brandt Gate, featuring Tomari Seto, Kaibo's sister, right? This one is another one that is really interesting to me. I've dabbled in it a little bit. I'm not really a fan of the prison mechanic, but I'm definitely curious to see how it develops. All right, Aurora Battle Princess, Sarah Snow. We went over this whole deck in a recent video, and I was really excited to go over it. But like I said, I'm not too big of a fan of the deck yet. But with its ability to essentially tribe check 3 times and give power to itself, it's a really powerful card and essentially enable its own skill. That's why this card single-handedly kind of carries the deck. And then Resort Pink, another ride deck card. And then Kyanite Blue, looks really cool as well. And then your starter. So this is another card that I was really interested in because it has the kind of mech aesthetic. When its attack hits a Vanguard, you choose one of your opponent's rear guards and imprison it. So imprison's kind of the main thing. Puts pressure on your opponent, forces them to guard. And then the Security Patroller essentially just enables your Vanguard skill as well. So that's why people like this card. This is a vanilla, but even though it's not that good, it looks really cool. And then Automatic Caution is another like really interesting card in my opinion. Because of its skill to gain shield and power, should you want to play it, it's a really powerful card because this deck can't make numbers like the other Brandt Gate deck can. And allows you to literally just stall out the game, which this deck usually wins in the long game. So yeah. And then our Sentinel, our Over Trigger, 4 crit, 4 draw, 3 front, 4 heal, and then our main order, the Prison. So they only give you 2. As much as you would think that you need 4, you actually only need 1 because the grade 1, when it's placed on Vanguard, you can search for it and add it to your hand. So before you even take damage, you just get this card. And until we have order removal, this card's fine at 1. So yeah, that's it for the Brandt Gate deck. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the start deck unboxing. I really want to thank you all for watching this. And actually let me know, comment down below which one you're most excited for, because I'm definitely excited for these 3, like I said, but these 2 are pretty cool as well. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and I hope you all enjoy Vanguard as much as I do, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.